In this video, I'm going to give you a full guide of how to build in Fortnite Chapter 5. This is a complete beginner level guide, and if y'all want me to make it a little more advanced, let me know. Don't forget to use code lukicha in the item shop if this video helps you out, and let's hop to the first step of this guide. We're gonna start out with the most basic, which is ramp rush. This is how every fight starts. You and your opponent both build up with ramps racing for the height. You can start out with placing ramps and walls to protect yourself, but the better way to do a ramp rush is by placing walls, floors and ramps. This way you have double layer of protection and it's harder for your opponent to shoot you out. The second mechanic you need to master is sprint ramp rushing. Sometimes you don't have time for protection and you want to get to height first. In this situation, all you have to do is sprint and place a ramp. If you feel like the opponent you're facing isn't gonna chop you out, you can do this move and get to high ground faster than him. The third mechanic is called high walls. Sometimes your opponent is already one or few layers above you, so ramp rushing won't work. And this is when high walls come in handy. You can do this simple move and get one layer above while keeping yourself protected. Or if they are more layers above you, just do this on repeat and then combine that retake with something else. You can also put ramps not only for you to stand on, but place it above you for some extra protection if they're directly above. Once you master all of those, then you can switch over to 90s. 90s is the fastest way to get high ground in Fortnite. In fact, players always start out with this move in 1v1 build fights. So here's how to do it. First up, you place a ramp. Then you turn 90 degrees, which explains why it's called a 90 by the way, and place walls around you. Top that off with a floor and a ramp and boom, you just learned how to do a 90. Once you know how 90s work, then you can move over to infinite 90s. If you didn't know, Fortnite has something called jump fatigue, which means that after you jump 2 times, you're going to have jump fatigue and you cannot jump high enough to do 90s anymore. So in place to do infinite 90s, I suggest learning how to do a 90 without jumping. This way you won't have any problem with jump fatigue and you can do as many 90s as you want. Do the same things I've showed you, but place yourself at the bottom of your ramp so you don't get stuck under it. And that's all it really is. The thing about 90s is it's really fast, but you're not as protected. The only angle you're protected from is your bottoms. So I'm going to show you a move that gets you up a layer very safely. This is called Thwifo Cone. It's not as fast as 90, but it's a way to get up a layer while being protected from your tops and your back. You place a ramp and swing walls around you. Then you top that off with the cone on top and you're done. This move is something to get used to because if your crosshair is too high or too low while placing a cone, you will mess up. So crosshair placement is very important. Next up is my personal favorite, side jumps. Side jumps are crucial for fighting, so let's learn them. Let's start with the easiest. Run up to a cone and jump on the side of it while placing a floor. Once you can do that without messing up, then switch over to placing a ramp like this. It's a bit harder, but placing a ramp helps out a lot because it gets you up by 2 layers. And for the last drill of basic side jumps is jumping and placing both floor and a ramp. But you place a ramp this way. The reason you need to learn this side jump is that you can combine them with other retakes that you learn. The next step of this guide is sprint side jumps. Sprinting helps out because it makes the side jump easier, and you can combine it with walls to protect the angles where you can get shot from. Just do the same thing but place walls after you do a side jump. This helps you stay protected and it makes it easier to piece control your opponent. The next tip I'm going to give you is something called piece control. The main goal of piece control is to piece someone without getting shot, so you can gain the advantage. And the way you do that is by piece controlling your opponent from right hand peak. For example, when I edit this window and then this ramp, I'm at the left side of the wall and I'm protected. So if a player was there, I would have the right hand peak advantage over him. You're gonna be in this position a lot, so I suggest practicing this simple move. Next up is of course double and triple edits. This is a no-brainer and there's no reason you should not practice this. So here's how to do them. First, place a ramp, then a cone and a floor. And lastly, just edit through them. If you're a complete beginner and these are a little too hard for you, just try to get the crosshair placement down and it will become way easier. The way I edit is these 2 tiles on my floor and I select this 1 tile on my cone. This way I'm protected from my back and it's easier to edit. Once you do that, move on to Trimple edits. And again, crosshair placement is the most important here. You do the same thing but with adding a wall and editing through everything. And the last step of this video is tunneling. If you're thinking about starting a competitive career, then this is one of the moves that you need to learn, especially if you are interested in being the ideal. So let's go through the most important ones. First up is the most basic one. It's a little tough if you're a beginner, but as everything else, all you need is crosshair placement and just practicing it over and over again, so it can go into your muscle memory. This is the way it looks like, but you can also do it without editing the front wall. If you didn't know, games are a little laggy in stacked lobbies, so not placing the front wall can make tunneling way easier. You can also do this tunnel horizontally, just like I'm showing you right now. Here's another way of tunneling, which saves more mats because you're only using 30 mats on each box. But I would mostly suggest this in solos. You can also do this with editing a cone, but you have to make sure that no one's on your left so that you're protected. And the last tunnel, which is easy and anyone can do it. This mostly protects your back and a little bit of sides. I prefer using this in solos when I go early in the zone and I'm scared of people shooting me from the back. And it can also save you a lot of mats compared to the basic tunnel that I showed you before. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I helped some of you that are beginners at the game and are struggling to know the basics because everything looks so complicated. If you did enjoy this video, then don't forget to use code lukicha in the item shop. Alright guys, peace out.